My name is Laura, and I want to share my story with you. It's a story of love, second chances, and unexpected surprises that life sometimes throws at you. I am a teacher at a small elementary school in a quiet town. I have been teaching for years, and it's something I've always loved doing. But my life hasn't always been easy. I had been married to Robert for 6 years, and we had a son named Max. He was the light of my life, and I gave everything to him. But despite my efforts, my marriage started to fall apart. Robert and I couldn't agree on anything anymore. Our conversations were always filled with tension, and no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't fix the growing distance between us. We eventually decided to get a divorce. The decision wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I wanted a fresh start, and so did Robert. Even though things weren't perfect, I was determined to move on and create a happy life for myself and my son. For a while, I focused on work and raising Max. It wasn't always easy. I had moments where I felt lonely, but I loved being a mom and my job kept me busy. I'd come home from school every day, play with Max, help him with his homework, and make dinner. It was a routine that kept me grounded. Then one day everything changed. A new teacher joined our school. His name was Jack, and he was young, energetic, and full of ideas. I had heard the principal talk about him, and I was curious to see what he was like. When I met him for the first time, I was surprised by how easy it was to talk to him. He had this warm smile and a calm energy that made everyone feel at ease. He seemed to have a natural connection with the children. At first, we only talked during staff meetings or in passing in the teacher's lounge, but slowly we started talking more. We began to share stories about our lives, and I found myself laughing and enjoying his company more and more. I was drawn to his kindness, his sense of humor, and the way he made me feel comfortable in my own skin. It had been so long since I felt that way, and it made me realize how much I had missed being close to someone. One day after work, Jack asked if I wanted to grab a cup of coffee. I agreed, and we went to a nearby cafe. Over coffee, we shared more personal stories. I told him about my son Max and how I had been through a tough divorce. I explained how challenging it had been to move on, but how I had found strength in being a mother and a teacher. I told him about the pain of my marriage, falling apart, and the emotional toll it had taken on me. Jack listened attentively, never interrupting, just nodding and offering words of comfort. When I finished telling him everything, he smiled and said, "I admire your strength, Laura. It's not easy to open up like that, and I think you're amazing for doing it. I think you're a great mom and a great teacher." His words meant so much to me. I hadn't expected him to be so kind, and it made me feel understood. I had spent so long carrying my past with me, but Jack made me feel like it was okay to let go. We continued to meet for coffee after that, and with each meeting, I started to realize that I was developing feelings for him. Months passed, and our friendship grew into something more. One evening, after a school event, Jack walked me to my car. As we stood there, he took my hand and said, "Laura, I really like you. I feel like we have a special connection, and I'd love to see where this goes. Would you consider going on a date with me?" I couldn't believe it. Part of me was nervous. I had been hurt before, and I wasn't sure if I was ready to open my heart again. But another part of me felt excited. Jack was kind, thoughtful, and he made me feel alive again. After a moment of hesitation, I smiled and said, "I'd love to." Our first date was wonderful. We went to a quiet restaurant, and the conversation flowed easily. I hadn't felt so comfortable with someone in such a long time. As the weeks passed, we spent more time together. Jack was wonderful with Max, and I could see that he genuinely cared about us. He was patient, kind, and had a way of making me feel like I was the most important person in the room. After a few months of dating, Jack and I had a conversation about the future. I told him how much I cared about him and how much I appreciated everything he had done for me and for Max. He smiled and said, "Laura, I want you to know that I'm here for you. I understand your past, and I accept it. You don't have to be afraid of it. I want to be with you, and I want to be part of your future." His words filled me with hope. For the first time in years, I felt like I was building something that could last. Jack made me believe in love again, and I started to imagine a life with him. I could see the possibility of a family, of us creating a future together. One evening, while we were sitting on the couch after dinner, Jack looked at me with a serious expression. "Laura, there's something I've been thinking about," he said. "I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I love you, and I want us to build a future together. Will you marry me? I was speechless for a moment, overwhelmed by emotions. I had never expected to find love again, especially not after everything I had been through. But in that moment, I knew that Jack was the person I had been waiting for. I smiled through my tears and said, "Yes, Jack, I want to marry you." Everything felt perfect. We started making plans for our wedding, and I couldn't have been happier. I was excited to start this new chapter of my life with Jack by my side. But just when I thought everything was falling into place, something happened that I never expected. One day, as I was picking up Max from school, I got a call from an unknown number. I answered it, and to my surprise, it was Robert, my ex-husband. He asked if we could meet and talk. I was confused, but I agreed to meet him. When we sat down at a cafe, Robert looked at me with a serious expression. "Laura, I've been doing a lot of thinking," he said. "I've realized that I made a mistake. I know I hurt you, but I want to try again. I want to come back. I still love you, and I want to be a family again." I felt like the ground beneath me had shifted. My heart was racing, and I didn't know what to say. Robert's words brought back so many memories, both good and bad. I had spent so much time moving on from him, and now he was asking me to reconsider everything. I didn't know what to do. Part of me still cared for Robert, but another part of me knew that I had found something new with Jack. I had started to imagine a future with him, and now I was being faced with a choice I never thought I'd have to make. After thinking long and hard, I realized that my heart belonged to Jack. The love we had was built on trust, respect, and understanding, and that was something I couldn't ignore. I told Robert, "I appreciate that you want to try again, but my heart is with someone else now. I've moved on, and I don't think we can go back to what we had. I think it's time for both of us to move forward." Robert looked sad, but he nodded. "I understand, Laura. I just wanted you to know how I felt. I hope you're happy." After that conversation, I felt a sense of relief. I had made the right decision. I knew that Jack was the person I wanted to be with, and I was excited about the future we would build together. And so life went on. I married Jack, and we became a family. Max loved him, and together we created a home filled with laughter and love. Sometimes life brings unexpected twists. But I've learned that even when things seem uncertain, love has a way of showing us the path forward. I never could have imagined this future for myself, but I'm so grateful for it. Sometimes, the love we're looking for finds us when we least expect it. And when it does, it's worth taking a chance on.